Here we are, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the Monroe Doctrine. Guys, the Monroe Doctrine. I'll get a good little shot of the paper right here so you can kind of see what we're talking about. You can hit pause if you wanted to take notes on it. And so there we go. But guys, the Monroe Doctrine. So this is during that era of good feelings when President Monroe is in office. And basically, guys, 1823, you got to keep in mind, a lot of the Latin American countries that were under Spain and Portugal's control are breaking off or about to break off. Many of them already have. They still have some. But the fact of the matter is, the United States is worried that Spain or Portugal might come back, but more worried the other new rising European powers will come back in and take them over. And the United States is very worried about having powerful neighbors, powerful European activity kind of in our hemisphere. And so basically, to kind of make a long story short, the U.S. is very, very worried about this. And so we have a red truck kind of slowing down. A lot of cars kind of slow down, park right here, and just look at the lake for some reason. But right by my house or my neighbor's house. But so, guys, basically, you get this. The United States issues the Monroe Doctrine, is this foreign policy piece. And we announce that there are spheres of influence. And our sphere of influence is like the Western Hemisphere, the Americas, North America, South America. And that the U.S. would see it as an act of aggression against us if European powers were taking new colonies. So if European powers are taking new colonies, we'll see it kind of as an act of aggression against us. And so, guys, when you look at this here, basically, it's basically telling Europe, kind of stay out. This is our zone of influence. The New World is the United States' domain. Europe, you can keep the colonies that you already have, but no new colonies. No new colonies, you can keep the ones you already have. But if you lose one due to like a revolution, you can't go back and take it over. And another European power can't go back in and try to take it over either. In exchange, the United States is going to stay out of European affairs. We're going to stay out of internal affairs in European countries. We're not going to try to colonize parts of the world that Europe is also trying to colonize outside of the Americas. Think Asia, Africa, places like that Europe is kind of looking at this time. And over the years, various presidents have used it, picked up on it. Many. I'll just discuss a few briefly here, more from the periods 1 through 7 because of the whole COVID-19 shortening the AP exam. Excluding the periods 8 and 9, 1945 up to present day. But Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy, adds on the Roosevelt corollary. And that's in 1904, Teddy does that. And he basically says, look, the United States can act preemptively here. Look, if we can get a good screen, preemptively. The United States can act preemptively in Latin America. For example, if Latin America is racking up a lot of debt, European powers over the years had actually openly talked, publicly discussed, hey, some of these Latin American countries owe us money. They're not being able to pay us back or can barely pay us back. If they can't pay us back, we will take them over to extract the money that we're owed. And so Teddy Roosevelt says, well, that would put us at odds with the European power because you can't, that'd be like colonizing. You can't colonize a place in America. And because of the Monroe Doctrine. So the Roosevelt corollary basically says, hey, Latin America, we can preemptively kind of tell you how to run your country, including not to rack up debt with European powers because of the fact that that would put us at odds with Latin American countries. Or excuse me, put us at odds with the European powers in Latin American countries if Europe tried to come back to kind of take you over to extract their debts. To be paid back. Oh, there's a cat there. Hi, Steggy. Alice named this cat Steggy after Stegosaurus. She likes dinosaurs. Hi, Steggy. And FDR, the other Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt here, guys. Let me kind of scroll back out. FDR, he institutes this good neighbor policy. He thinks that Teddy had been too intrusive in Latin American businesses. Taft, with this dollar diplomacy, had been too intrusive in Latin American countries. Wilson invades over half a dozen Latin American countries. And so FDR says, look, we're going to be good neighbors. It'll be more of a mutual relationship instead of kind of us telling you what to do. And that good neighbor policy kind of ends with the Cold War. Because with the Cold War, if any of these Latin American countries start to turn towards communism, the United States steps in militarily. Britain is actually a supporter of the Monroe Doctrine. You might say, Mr. Morris, Britain is this major colonizer. How on earth would they support this? Well, they don't want other European competition. They're kind of happy with what they have. And for many of the years in the 1800s, Britain's navy's openly enforcing America's Monroe Doctrine. Hey, European powers, this is America's sphere. You got to stay out of it. You've got to respect it. Stay out of their sphere of influence. No new colonies. You can keep the colonies you have. But gee, stay out of it. No new colonies. And America has often used the Monroe Doctrine over the years by various presidents to say, well, look, we can support democracies. The Monroe Doctrine also enables us to support the growth of democracies, because with a democracy, they're less likely to be colonized. It's our sphere of influence. And remember, for a while, we're the world's lone democracy, pretty much. And so it's our duty to spread democracy, spread our way of government. And so, guys, remember, stay positive. Try to talk to your friends online. Try to stay engaged. Do things, and not just school stuff. Try to, call family members. Maybe you haven't talked to grandma a long time. Maybe you should love a phone call. So, guys, keep positive. And, guys, you can do it. Have a good day.